We're kind of late with this, so can we get started with our LOO meeting, please? Does anyone want a copy of what we're discussing? That needs a copy? I have extras. Danielle, you okay?
I'm good.
Mr. Ryan, you need a copy?
No, I think that's good.
I have mine.
I gave you one, I believe. Chris has one. I would like to call the Laws, Rules, and Ordinances Committee of the Fremont City Council to order. Just for your information, the committee consists of myself, John Elder, I'm the chair. Christine Weiss is the at-large. She and I are both at-large members of council. Jim Sleek from Ward 2 is on the committee, and Chris Leibold from Ward 4 is on the committee. Okay? There was some confusion amongst council. Mr. Knopf is here. He also has a resolution that he has typed up, but I was not informed of this or aware of this. What we're dealing with is the resolution that's before you. This goes back to our June 4th meeting. In our June 4th meeting, the LRO met to consider a resolution proposed by Brian Earhart, who's in the audience tonight, People for Peace and Justice for Migrant Women. Okay? The resolution purpose was to honor immigrant contribution to our community. Right? The goal was to add it to the agenda that night. However, it failed. Okay? Further conversation with Mr. Earhart, he decided he wanted to try this again. He discussed with Chief Wensinger, myself, I met with him, and the resolution before you is the revised edition that he put together. Okay? So you all have that before. The goal is, the purpose of tonight is to vote to try to add it to the agenda for tonight's meeting. Okay? If you look at the resolution, there's no emergency clause on it, which means if it does get added to the agenda, it will go all 3 readings. So the first reading would be tonight. The second reading would be the first meeting in September, which I think is September 3rd. And then the third reading would be September 17th. Okay? We would then move to adopt the resolution, and the whole council would vote on that matter. And then we'll see what happens with that. Okay? Just my personal opinion for the committee is I would like to have it added to the agenda. That's my goal for tonight, if possible.
Well, remember, if you do pass it out of committee, you still got to be added with full agenda?
Correct.
Which is going to take 6, because again, it's not
Okay,
some percent.
thank you for clarifying.
Well, there's 6 here.
So, yeah, but it would take all 6.
All 6 to add it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Sure.
All right.
And then the other, not to interrupt, I apologize.
No, go ahead.
I think the other clarification is, you can still rule, that the council can still vote to suspend Rule 4, and you could still vote to suspend Rule 4 to vote on it tonight.
Even with no emergency clause on it?
Even with no emergency clause.
They can sit for 30 days.
Yeah.
Just sit for 30 days?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. Okay, so, Councilwoman Weiss, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
I do. I feel like the heart of this resolution is to honor the contributions of immigrants, but this resolution to me feels like 2 resolutions. You know, because in here it does say resolution celebrating the contributions of immigrants to the local economy and development, and requesting that the City of Fremont Police Department standards are to be used by other agencies involved in law enforcement activities within the City of Fremont. So I do feel like there's 2 resolutions. I would like them to be potentially separated, especially if the heart of this is to honor immigrants, which I support that. But there's additional language in here, specifically where it says that all law enforcement agencies coming to the City of Fremont to carry out law enforcement activities within the city limits mirror the City of Fremont Police Department standards. So the question is, what if the FBI decides to come in, they're doing an undercover investigation that could conflict with legitimate federal activities? And if we're supposed to mirror, there's a whole thing about displaying officers' names and badge numbers and wearing clothing and identifying yourself and blah, 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 blah. So I feel like that could be considered a potential conflict of interest with what the federal government may need to do. So that's why I feel like this probably needs to be a separate, 2 separate resolutions, one to recognize the contributions of our immigrants, and if the police department standards need to be a separate resolution, then I think that should be a separate resolution.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Leibold, any
Uh,
comments you'd like to make?
Sure. I mean, the way I read it is that we're honoring contributions of immigrants to the community and sort of as such to honor them with, what you see in the news from immigration related, raids and law enforcement. I think it's sort of compound in the sense that to honor them, we should also ask our police department and the agencies operating within the city of Fremont to operate in the same manner we'd expect our police forces to operate. So I have no issue with it being kind of compound in nature. But I would ask you, Councilman Elder, since you said you met with the police chief, if he had any comments on that part of it.
Would you like to answer that all?
The only comment, we actually made an adjustment on that resolution, and the second whereas people of wide and diverse heritage, we actually listed each, or some individual immigrant groups, Haitians, Syrians, I mean, just a bunch of them, but it wasn't totally inclusive with everybody, so he thought maybe they might be offended by that, so we eliminated naming any particular immigrant groups and just made it a paragraph to make it a broad immigrant groups in total. But that was the only thing that he had asked us to change on it, though. Other than that, it sounded like he liked everything that was left on it.
Okay.
Mr. Bronx, do you have thoughts as the safety service director? I know that you're but
Yeah, so I do. I've read this, and as far as honoring immigration and immigration policies, I think it's fantastic. Now, I also agree with you that this definitely seems like it's an ordinance where you've kind of bootstrapped another ordinance to it, tying the hands of law enforcement. The thing about law enforcement is every operation is different. What our police do on the street is going to be way different than what the FBI does when they come in here, or Department of Homeland Security, of which I happen to be a trainer, or was a trainer, in the United States Coast Guard for years for the Department of Homeland Security and the law enforcement end of it. So I can tell you that the jobs are the same, but they're also significantly different. To basically tie the hands of a federal law enforcement agency coming in here and trying to do an operation and saying, no, you have to operate like the Fremont Police Department. If they could operate, if the operation needed what the Fremont Police Department can do, then that agency wouldn't be in here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like this is an apples to oranges type situation when you're trying to restrict federal law enforcement agencies from doing their job the way that they're properly trained to do. That's my take on it. Okay. Okay.
Are you in support of the resolution?
Not in that form, no.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
On the very last bullet point, it says with very limited exceptions. So it's not that we're saying that they have to totally operate the way that the Fremont City Police Force operates, but use that as a guide for them while they're doing whatever they're doing, their law enforcement within the city of Fremont.
And I'll reiterate what I said before. It's an apples to oranges situation. If the Fremont Police Department could do the operation, then they would do it. But now you have federal agencies coming in to do something totally different, which requires a completely separate policing style. To me, it's just you're tying the hands of a federal. If Department of Homeland Security, HSS comes in here and tries to do an operation, and we're telling them to follow what a regular patrol officer would do, then they're not going to be able to do their operation and complete it safely. To me, it puts federal agents in jeopardy, is what it does.
Well, and if,
in my opinion.
I just have a
in my
question.
opinion.
If the federal agents came in and didn't abide by our police department procedures,
Mhm.
what would happen?
Well, that's a great question. I'm actually kind of curious about that myself. I guess I'd refer to the law director on that.
But keep in mind, it's a resolution, not
Right.
an ordinance. So
Right.
it doesn't have the same legal effect. I think I said that at the very first meeting in June
Mhm.
when we had it. So it wouldn't have any legal effect.
That's recommend.
Yeah, because
It's an ordinance.
I mean, it's a resolution, not an ordinance.
Yeah.
I would like to also say that these are my opinions and these are my thoughts. But I appreciate anyone from the public bringing these issues forward. I may be right, I may be wrong, but I don't want to discourage people from bringing resolutions forward to council.
Yeah.
Because I may have a different opinion. I just want to make that perfectly clear.
Yeah, no problem, fully understand that. And, you know, like, I've heard a couple of comments already, this is an ask, you know, this is not an ordinance, we're not trying to pass a law. So what we're looking for is if a federal law group came in to do something, we would like them to operate the way the Fremont City Police operate. But I mean, we also understand what you're saying is that, yes, it is apples and oranges. Chances are they're going to try to operate the way the Fremont City Police work. No guarantee that it's going to be 100%, and we fully understand that.
One of the comments that I have in reference to this is I was speaking with the police chief earlier this afternoon. Chief, before you walked in, Councilman Elder asked the question. He said, what are the Fremont Police Chief's thoughts on this? And the gentleman said that there was only one thing that you disagreed with on this. And I think that was in reference to, what was that? I'm sorry?
The naming of the different immigrant groups. I don't know if I gave you an updated version. We eliminated that, just did a general immigrant group.
Yep, we had a great, Brian came and sat with me at the PD, we had a great conversation about it. I was at odds with specifically naming some, but not all groups when we're referencing immigration and immigrants. I was against listing statistics in its original form. I felt like they were misleading. And it really feels like, to me, this is two ordinances. One against how federal law enforcement operates, generally, and one to support and recognize immigration. In our conversations, we also talked about City Council's exposure of not doing these for other recognized celebration months. I don't think I'm saying that right, but hopefully you guys are tracking what I'm putting down.
Yes.
We also talked about, we can say as many times as we want how we want federal agencies to work, even when they come to the city of Fremont with no authority over them. I'm not interested in having a conflict with any federal agency. I don't necessarily think that we will ever have one. I suggested coming to multiple council meetings and just using the council comments portion to advocate for their cause. Are there any specific questions for me regarding?
I have a couple comments from what I read, just in my former law enforcement experience and understanding the way the system works. Locally, our own police department, there are efforts that have to be made to, for the safety of officers and for the safety of individuals. I mean, the police chief drove a police car to the meeting tonight, probably that is unmarked. And he has an unmarked cruiser, and there's times, many times, that our police department has to operate in different, whether it's specific drug investigations or seeking out, looking for individuals for safety measures. But if we would ever try to tie our local law enforcement's hands in reducing the tools that they need to do their job, or to unintendedly criticize them for using an unmarked vehicle, I think that would jeopardize the safety of our community, number one.
And I would add to that, the morning that we were having this discussion, I did point out that there was a fairly significant operation that we helped the Sandusky County Drug Task Force with that had several unmarked vehicles participating and plain clothes and concealed identity officers with it. So it's not lost on me that we use these, although I will say the resolution does point out that there are strict circumstances that we use them.
And then to finish my comments, the same officer that may have been out throwing a football with me today, with little kids and their families in a very public setting, may very well be that same officer tonight at midnight that's called in to go in on a special response team that would be wearing a full covered covering over his face and a mask over his face, entering a home for whatever reason. It could be a
Complete the law enforcement mission.
law enforcement mission, whether it's trying to get a barricaded subject outside of a home or whatever that may be. You know, those operations come, and I think that when we talk, in fact, we seem to be talking more about law enforcement on this ordinance than we are immigration, so I'll just leave it at that. All right, thank you.
Yes,
Yes, I'll make it brief.
good.
I just had a couple
Good.
notes so I don't wander. I'm
Go-
starting to
go
get a
ahead.
little old. My name is Robert Knopfs. I live at 1520 North Street in Fremont, apartment 83. And I was initially a little disappointed because the resolution I submitted, it wasn't going to get discussed, but I thought originally I was going to show up and support this issue because it deals with two issues that I care about. But something was kind of bothering me about it, and I thought about it some more, and I realized what bothered me about it is that it deals with two issues that I care about. And I agreed with what Ms. Weiss said and with what some other officials here tonight said. I think both of these issues ought to be dealt with separately because they're issues I both care about strongly, but I think the pro-immigration message could be affected by the kind of more negative message that's being directed at what I believe are some of the horrific practices that ICE has engaged in for the last year and a half. And I think we would be better served trying to get a pro-immigrant message across if those of us who care about that issue introduce resolutions to just for that. And then later on, if we want to try for our own purposes to try to get some kind of a resolution on ICE forward, just so we can keep the issue alive, that we should do that separately from this issue. I don't believe that the issue as it's written should go forward because I think those of us who care about these issues ought to start out from scratch from the beginning and have them in separate resolutions before we try to move forward with them. So the positive message isn't contaminated with our more negative message on the other side. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So, Mr. Melly, if we would vote to add this to the agenda, then let's say we add it to the agenda, we as council can amend parts of this then, correct?
If we want to get that in full agenda.
So we can amend parts of it to where we like it at.
Yeah.
You understand? You understand?
It's a lot to amend.
Yeah.
There's a lot to amend.
A lot to amend.
Yeah.
Based on two different concepts as he clearly articulated.
Can I make one more comment?
Sure, then we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, I just think about what we're here for tonight.
Right.
And these conversations have taken place, I've been in office for 11 years. And we've had many resolutions that I've supported many, many times over the years of my tenure as mayor. And I think resolutions have the opportunity to make significant impact. But this council has spoken about resolutions in the past, and this council has made many public statements from many of you on city council here this evening, stating that you would not bring resolutions back to council, and that council in general, whether it was for Hispanic Awareness Month or whether it was for Cancer Awareness Month, or I think we counted one time and there was over 37 different days or months that recognize many things that we all could get behind, regardless of partisan opinion, that is just in the best interest of what I would say is human life, in my opinion. And this council made statements that they weren't going to take these resolutions. Honestly, I think, to be frank, it was because of the conversations we're having here tonight. Right. The amount of time that we spend on going back and trying to look at unintended consequences to doing the right thing for the community. Brian, I didn't recognize you, but we've had many lengthy conversations over the phone.
We have.
Talking about very good conversations.
Yeah.
And I just think that if council is going to entertain this resolution now, I appreciate the fact that these gentlemen are as vocal and of what they do in the community, and as Mr. Frost stated, that's what I believe that citizens should do. Are you going to reopen that door, and what is our reasoning for telling everyone else no previously that came here for the other 35 resolutions? I might be exaggerating, but that was a conversation from council itself, and you guys as a council discussed that. And then here we are again, having these conversations, not necessarily about the issues, but just about resolutions. It was my opinion that council members would support the resolutions they wanted during council comments, or there were other public forums and ways for council members to express their support for opiate awareness month or overdose awareness month. I could give many examples. If anyone disagrees with me.
But I think this one rings a little bit different, and, you know.
To you it does,
Well,
but-
and if I would support, like, what Mr. Frost and what Ms. Weiss has said, you know, the story of immigration, American history is the story of American history.
But what does
And
autism
so-
awareness
and
mean to
and
you?
so I
Because
really
that means
think,
different to me.
and I think this goes along with, quite honestly, you know, we added I don't want to keep meandering, but we added, you know, the relocation grant to try to encourage people to come to Fremont and things like that. And I think we need to really, the state of Ohio has predicted by the year 2050, our population in this county will be down over 20%, which is a huge, it's half of Fremont in essence, or basically the whole communities of Gibsonburg, Lindsay, and so on. So I really think, you know, and it's 2026. So we have 24 years to stop that drain of more people dying than being born, even though Councilman Leibowitz doing his part to fix it.
Right, thank you.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I think that this is the beginning of that piece. I'd be okay losing the other half, like Ken, you know, to use as an example. I think we need to update our language in terms of housing discrimination, because it's out of the 70s. It's in dangerous need to be upgraded. I think there's things we need to do that sends a message that it's on the city website that goes along with your big Fremont plan of adding jobs at the industrial park, things like that, of how can we get people to come to Fremont legally that want to work? And that to me is what, to me, the purpose of supporting this, honestly.
I can
You know, the law enforcement I'm not a law enforcement person. I may watch, you know, Hawaii Five-0, let's say, but I don't know law enforcement. So I'd be happy to go with the
Well, I agree
immigration
with
side
you.
of it.
I agree with you.
You understand what I'm saying?
I don't
That's why I
disagree on
support that.
I don't disagree on that. I guess my statement back is, just sometimes in human nature, until things affect us, it might not have the same impact.
Right.
So, I brought up the Autism Awareness
Right.
Month because I have a 4-year-old granddaughter who is
Right.
autistic. And that has brought a lot of things to me in my personal life for
Right.
the lack of resources in this community.
Right.
My point I'm saying is, are we going to bring an Autism Awareness Month to council? Are we going to bring Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month to council? Or just the list could go on and on and on. I'm just telling you my opinion from what I'm stating.
But I
It's
think-
simply what council talked about.
But I think this part of it says, hey, we want people to come to Fremont. And I wonder, and I don't know, and
I
you
think
can
we
chime
can
in,
still
I
send that
wonder.
message though without a resolution. I think that, you know, as a community, I don't feel like anybody, and I could be wrong, but I don't feel like anybody in this community is like, oh, we don't want you to come here. We do want you to come here. I think we have
But if
that
you said
message without
If we
having
said
a resolution to
If
do
we said
so.
explicitly, would that be better?
Well, I mean, then
Would that be
then
better?
it should be like, we want everybody to come. Like, we want to, then I think it's opening up a different kind of window. Instead of like, yes, we appreciate the contributions immigrants have made. We can all get behind that.
Right.
But, you know, we want more than immigrants to come here. We want other people from other states. We want to come here.
Right.
May I
Right.
make a comment? People
Yep.
from other states are not immigrants, they're citizens. That's the difference.
Exactly. We want
But
them
that's
to
the
come
point,
too.
citizens can go wherever they want.
Sure.
Immigrants cannot in the current environment.
You said legal citizens.
We
Well,
had
you said legal.
We had a neighbor taken on a legal work visa. Our next door neighbor was taken on a legal work visa. His visa was taken from him and he's being housed in Youngstown. And he'll be there indefinitely because he isn't legally allowed to be deported. But the Trump administration won't allow him to have a legal work visa anymore. It was a legal work visa and he was abducted. Next door to us, right next door, across our driveway. So think about that before you vote on this.
Yes.
Just real quick to add to that, people that want to come to this area to work and live here, would they be more prone to coming here to work and live here if they knew that they were going to be protected, especially in, as you said, the way this country is run these days?
What does that mean by be protected?
They know that if federal officers were to come in here to try to grab them, that maybe it would be less of a chance of that happening.
Have you
Because
had
this
people in your
resolution
family
gets
murdered by
people,
two illegal citizens?
now, it gets people to understand that the law officers of Fremont, Ohio are going to be here to protect them. If you've seen on the news where people get slammed to the ground and we don't know why, you know, maybe that person didn't even do anything wrong.
Did that happen here in Fremont?
It has not, and as far as I know, we haven't had this problem here. That's why we're trying to do this resolution, is to let people know Fremont is going to be a safe place to be if you want to move here.
You know, as a citizen, this, I'm not trying to disparage our local law enforcement in any way, but I believe that if hypothetically, like in other cities, ICE agents were to come here and do their thing the way they wanted to do it, I don't believe our local law enforcement would be able to do anything to stop them. Maybe they might be able to be politely ask them, but that's about as far as they could go. And so I think it's fangless. And why include it? If we're going, I'm all in favor of having a more powerful resolution, but as separate issues, I think they should be separated. Yeah, I don't want to keep repeating
I have a
myself.
quick question. I have a question for the chief, Jim Melly, and Ken together. What Miss Elder brought up, is there more to the story than that? Are you guys familiar with that story?
He was taken by
I don't doubt what she's saying.
Border Patrol.
But was there a reason? Was there more?
He was here on a legal work visa. His legal work visa was the Trump administration decided that particular legal work visa was no longer going to be acknowledged.
And answer your question, Mr. Roddy, it happens all over the country. I'm not doubting what she's saying.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I think, based on the comments and everything, I think we ought to draft this as a more singular message.
Okay.
Before we present it.
I agree.
Okay.
And I make that for a motion.
I second.
You second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
You okay?
Amen.
Do you understand what he just said?
No, I don't.
It didn't make the agenda. They
Oh,
voted
yeah, I kinda figured
to
that.
basically say, go back to the drawing board.
Okay, and split it like you guys were talking about?
Yes.
Two different
However you-
resolutions?
However you
Okay.
want to do it.
Yes.
But
Okay.
yeah, that was
That's
just
the
a
general
general.
vibe that we're
Okay.
getting from everybody, okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And conclude your meeting.
Okay, all right. How much time between the next?
Okay, meeting is getting started. Please rise for a moment of silence for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Briggs.
Here.
Reese. Here. Addie.
Here.
Elder.
Here.
Bible.
Here.
Reese. Here. Sweet.
Yes.
Here.
Council has a copy of the minutes from the last meeting. Are there any changes or corrections?
Yes, Madam President. I noticed in the public comments that it's Mr. Knopf's name is, last name is misspelled. It's N-O-F-T-Z, not N-O-S-S.
I took it off what he said.
All right.
Yeah. So we can correct that.
But that is it.
Okay.
Okay.
Any?
Oh.
It's not us.
N-O-F-T-Z.
Knopf's.
Okay. Council also has a copy of the agenda for tonight. Are there any additions to the agenda?
I make a motion to add the resolution that we just discussed.
I thought that in the.
No, she can do that.
Oh, she can
because-
do
Yeah,
that?
because it's just, the other one was just turned down as it relates to the committee, but yes, she can do that.
Okay. So
Yeah, I do.
Christine makes a motion to add to the
Yeah,
agenda
a
the
second.
resolution.
I second.
Jenny Addy seconds. Anybody have anything to say about this?
Madam President, may I speak?
Yes, sir.
I would ask council to consider adding this to the agenda tonight, adding this to the agenda. This is a conversation that has been going on with council since June 4th. In my opinion, there's been many lengthy public and private conversations with council and members from the public. And I think that now is the time for council to add it to the agenda and for each individual council member to make a decision on whether or not they want to vote on this ordinance, resolution that was proposed by members of the public.
Okay, thank you. Do we do a roll call? Roll call?
Weiss,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder,
Yes.
Bible,
No.
Reese,
No.
Sleek,
Yes.
Briggs.
No.
It did get added, that didn't take sense.
Okay.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
may I ask the council members that voted no on why they voted no?
Well, Ms. Mayor, I made a motion in the LRO meeting that said if we're going to do it, we should do it the way like the public asked. And whether or not it gets added to the agenda at a later date, who knows? It could not get added to the agenda based on your comments, based on other comments, but.
Wasn't the ordinance that she's adding the one that the public asked to add to the agenda though tonight?
We heard from someone from the public that he thought it should change. And so I think if we're going to have committee meetings, we should we should use the comments from the committee meetings. So.
Then how many committee meetings have we had discussing the same ordinance?
That too.
Okay, so there's been 2 different public meetings, there's been 2 changes, and then we're still looking to now get a third revised.
But
version.
you sort of get what you want though, because it's not on the agenda tonight. There's no guarantee.
It's not what I want, I'm just asking council to make a decision.
No, I know. Well,
I'm
that's, right now it's not going to be on the agenda, and there's no guarantee it's going to come back on the agenda.
Correct.
I'm going to speak up. The reason I said yes is because I was under the understanding we were going to vote. So I'm confused on it. I don't care if it, because we've got 2 different things going here.
I think the
And I would prefer it to wait myself, because if we're going to change it, then let's see what the changes are. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Everybody's giving opinions, so.
And I said
Just
no.
curious, you don't even have to answer my
because-
question, I'm just simply asking.
No.
Because of that part in here that says, displaying officers' names, wearing clothes that identify, all I can say is who am I to be demanding that?
Well, I think the thing we were asking is whether or not it would just be added to give you that opportunity to make your vote.
It's not, that's, FBI's gonna come in, Border Patrol's gonna come in, they're not gonna follow those rules, they got their own rules. And then the other thing too is that treating them with dignity and respect. I think that's the biggest encouragement for people to come to this city, is dignity and respect. But I have a report down at the police station for a few years ago. Patrolman Orlandi took Orlandi. He took the report where I was not treated with dignity and respect. And I don't even want to go into that. Poor woman's passed on, thank heavens. So I don't see how this, by saying this, is going to help matters any.
I get it, so you were voicing your concern, you were voicing your against it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was just asking for council to be able to vote on it tonight.
Are we done with this? Okay. You want to start the reading?
Second reading of resolution authorizing the approval and the issuance of a warrant for payment of $5,600.00 to Peters Used Equipment Incorporated and declaring an emergency.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
Suspend Rule 4.
I second.
Bruce Leibel moves to suspend Rule 4. Angie Reese seconds. Any comments or questions about the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Leibel.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Sleek.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
John Elder moves to adopt. Bruce Leibel seconds. Any further questions or comments? Roll call?
Elder?
Yes.
Leibold?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Sleek?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Approved.
Second reading of a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor, city council.
Madam President, I'd like to suspend Rule 4.
Second.
Jim Sleek makes a motion to suspend Rule 4. John Elder seconds. Any comments on the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call?
Leibold?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Sleek?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
I move to adopt.
Second?
Angie Reese moves to adopt. Christine Weiss seconds. Any further comments or questions? Roll call?
Reese?
Yes.
Sleek?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Leibold.
Yes.
Approved.
Second reading of a resolution authorizing the approval and the issuance of a warrant for payment of $3,607.40 to Firelands Regional Medical Center and declaring an emergency.
Madam President,
Yes.
I move to suspend Rule 4.
Angie Reese moves to suspend Rule
I
4.
second.
Jenny Yadi seconds. Any comments on the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call?
Sleek?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Leibold.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, John Elder moves to adopt. Chris Leibold seconds. Any further questions or comments? Roll call?
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Leibold.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Sleek.
Yes.
That's approved.
I would imagine how many she had.
I know. Here, reasons.
Next.
First reading of an ordinance amending appropriations within General Fund 101, Municipal Income Tax Fund 201, Public Recreation Fund 211, and Sewer Operating Fund 570, and declaring an emergency.
Yeah, Madam President, as council is in receipt of a letter I sent out explaining a few things, just kind of monitoring the budget throughout the year, the adjustment to the building maintenance. We had some sub pumps within this building kind of go bad, and not kind of go bad and need replaced, especially with all the rain that we had over the last few weeks. The fire department has had an increase. The increase related to fire is related to their personnel costs. We've had a significant amount of turnover with just firefighters moving on, or firefighters moving on, and retirement, and so people kind of coming and going. And so while those staff turnovers and replacements are happening, there's vacancies in the minimum manpower of their shifts. And so that has to be filled with a significant amount of overtime. And so the department has been kind of battling that throughout the whole year. And so looking at where they're at and trying to project how it's going to improve over the rest of 2026, as we have various, we have various new hires that are on the payroll, but they're in field training, so they don't count towards the minimum manpower. So they have to still ensure that they've got the minimum manpower of certified firefighters. So we've got guys and gal, and in the process of completing everything to be able to count towards manpower, but we're just not quite there yet. And with the way the timing of the turnover, chief had been anticipating some of the turnover with the assistant chief retiring and that sort of thing. And so people were in the pipeline, but then there were some unforeseen firefighters leaving service. And so just kind of playing catch up. And with how our staffing levels are in general on kind of just bordering that minimum manpower, when we're down, it has to get backfilled with overtime. And so that has been higher than anticipated. And then the ripple effect. Wages are up, so then the compounding Medicare and pension associated with those wages. So it's kind of all encompassing there. The Parks Department, they've had a number of kind of higher than anticipated repairs. They had a dump truck, I think it was, that went down and had some significant repairs, and maybe one of their pickup trucks as well. One of like either the garbage truck or one of the trucks that they use, the more light duty. The increase in the municipal income tax is twofold. We budgeted, I believe, $300,000 for refunds, and we're already up against that. And the income tax administrator let me know that there's another very significant refund that's in the process of getting processed. And so, with where we were at and what she gave me a heads up on anticipating, it warranted about a $200,000 increase to refunds. That's been ticking up a little bit higher recently, and I think it's just kind of some of our local businesses, they're just overestimating and giving us, their estimated net profits. It's all based on business net profit. And so when they're doing their quarterly estimates, it just seems like we've got some overestimating happening. And then when they get to their particular fiscal year, which typically doesn't line up with the calendar year, so throughout the year, they actually do their taxes, and it results in a refund. And so that's just been up a little bit more the last couple of years. Nothing really seems to be changing, but it just seems that the estimates are a little bit higher, and maybe they're trying to be conservative. Maybe they're not sharpening their pencils as much as maybe they could, but it's just the kind of the normal course of business on that front. And then the other part of the municipal income tax budget increase is to increase the budget to allow for a transfer of an additional $500,000 into the general fund to help cover some of the budget adjustments that I previously mentioned in the general fund. The general fund is in no position to absorb that type of budget adjustment. We are definitely not in the position there. So we're looking to adjust a little bit. Public rec, we had some turnover there, and a new employee just has a different health plan. And so I can't remember exactly how it was. If it was the previous one was single plan, and the new one is family, and the family has a higher premium cost associated with it. I don't know the exact details. It's not important necessarily, but just with that staff turnover, we budgeted for one. We didn't know that staff member was going to move on to a different opportunity, and so we had some turnover, and it results in a different health insurance plan for our new hire. And also heat power, gas and electric running the rec center, which then rolls into the water reclamation center. Water treatment seems to be okay, but I'm watching that because the true treatment plants in the rec center are the two that are massive, electric and gas users. The treatment plants are 24-hour operations. Technically, so is the rec center because you can access it, but it's not full-on use. So yeah, then that rolls into the sewer operating fund, just to increase the higher than anticipated gas and electric costs. I think everybody's kind of aware of gas and electric that everybody's dealing with themselves. And then, the water reclamation center, I think their gas and electric budget is just around $1 million. So when that needle moves on $1 million budget, it moves it, yeah. And then just to piggyback that, the next ordinance is the actual authorization to make the transfer. So this is a budget adjustment to adjust the budget for the transfer out of the income tax fund. And then the next agenda item is the ordinance authorizing the actual transfer of funds out of the income tax fund and into the general fund. Right? So, and I know the mayor invited the fire chief to maybe add any additional context or field any questions to either one of us related to that.
The only thing I really wanted to add is we're seeing the light. We have 5 new hires. 3 of them were checked off in recent weeks.
Yep.
The 4th will be approximately 4 to 6 weeks out from being checked off and counted as staffing, and then the other one was just hired recently. So we got a little bit to go with that individual. But we will see crest of that hill and reasonably. We also had an unexpected injury. One of the staff ended up tearing an ACL, and he had to wait to get in for surgery. Surgery just happened last week. Laparoscopic, so faster recovery, thankfully. And we're looking at a possible 4 weeks for his return after the surgery. But just a perfect storm in reference to why we have that situation right now. So, do you have any questions on it?
And then if I could ask council to suspend Rule 4 if there's no other questions.
All right, so
Nope.
Go
sorry, I have questions.
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know who is best directed to, so how much was the sump pump cost?
The whole adjustment was the sub pump. There's two
of them down there.
Two of them.
And they were both trash.
Okay.
And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I had no idea that this building even had a pit with sub pumps
Sub pumps in it?
I didn't. They're way back in the cage in the corner, and one of our engineers was down there and was like, you know this? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then Tommy Camarada, who does our building maintenance, went down there and checked and just about there.
Yeah. Okay. When I saw that, I just, thought back to some of the recurring problems with the building, and so I just,
Yeah.
wanted to sort of raise that every year.
Yeah, 'cause I think the adjustment was like $6,700 to that
Okay, so
particular.
that's nothing compared to the roof problem?
No.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
And just to confirm, our overall budget is still healthy to make such a large funds.
Yes, yeah. The income tax fund is doing okay. It's in better shape than the general fund. But I wouldn't want to make this adjustment too many more times.
Madam President,
Yes.
I move to suspend Rule 4.
I second it.
Angie Reese moves to suspend Rule 4. Jim Sleek seconds. Any comments on the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call.
Reese,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Rybel.
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Sleek,
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
I second.
Well, everybody moves to adopt and everybody seconds.
I didn't say
Danny Addy moves to adopt and Christine Weiss seconds.
Okay.
Any further comments or questions? Roll call.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Rybel.
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Sleek,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Approved.
First reading of an ordinance authorizing a fund transfer in the amount of $500,000.00 for the city of Fremont, state of Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to suspend Rule 4.
Second?
Chris Leibold moves to suspend Rule 4, and I think Christine Weiss seconds. Any further questions about the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call.
Elder.
Yes.
Leibold.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Sleek.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Danielle Briggs moves to adopt. Christine Weiss seconds. Any further comments? Roll call.
Leibold.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Sleek.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Approved.
First reading of ordinance amending chapter 131 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fremont entitled Police Department and declaring an emergency.
Madam President, if I would just describe this briefly, we had a retirement in our records division, and we've been evaluating over the last approximately 2 months of what that position actually does in line with it being 2026, the exit of a dispatch center from the police department approximately 5 to 6 years ago, and the type of work our current Secretary of Support Services does. And moving forward, the change in the ordinance and the composition changes us from a records clerk and a Secretary of Support Services to 2 Secretaries of Support Services. These positions are mostly cross-trained over the last 3 years or more. And this is what I would describe as correctly aligning job titles and job duties at a cost savings.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about any of this? No?
does this need move forward quickly?
I would love it for it to move quickly so that we can get some of these applicants interviewed and hired.
I move to suspend Rule 4.
Second.
Angie Reese moves to suspend Rule 4. Christine Weiss seconds. Any further questions on the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call.
Reese,
Yes.
Sleek,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Bible.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
John Elder moves to adopt. And Chris Leibold seconds. Any further comments, questions? Roll call.
Sleek,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Bible.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Okay. Committee reports, and I think I'm going to start with Parks and Recreation. Danielle Briggs.
Thank you, Madam President. I have 3 really light points. I'm very excited to talk about those. Last day for the pool, though, is this Sunday. So if you're going to hit the pool, hit it now. Keep your eyes on the skies for Saturday, though. We might have some storms. And that's almost immediately followed up by back to school. So congratulations, parents, and good luck to the teachers. I'd also like to...
Students. Nothing about the students, right?
They're fine. They'll be all right. Thank you to the Parks Department and Steve Stutz and his team for clearing down tree limbs really, really quickly for the recent storms. I saw around Ward 1, we had several limbs down in the street and they were cleared within a couple of hours. So thank you to his team. And this weekend is the Craft Brews event at Spiegel Grove. Feel free to stop by. I will be there. Reminder to have fun, stay safe, and again, keep your eyes on the skies for any storms. Just be careful, have a good time. It's always a great event. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Finance and Labor, Chris Leibold. Jim Sleek, Economic Development.
Thank you, Madam President. Nothing to report this time.
Okay, Streets and Utilities, Denny Addy.
Nothing to report this time, Madam President.
Okay. Citizen Service Committee, Angie Reese.
I think that the fire chief said what is presently going on with the fire department, the important items. And of course, our chief Wessinger is here also, and he's mentioned what is going on also. Thank you.
Okay, Community Partnership Committee, Christine Weiss.
Nothing to report this evening. Thank you, Madam President.
And John Elder?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Already had it.
Okay, Ken Frost?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Is Bob Rose back there? I can't see them.
He's in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
Taking his daughter.
Chief Wessinger?
Yes, briefly, Madam President, thank you. Fair Week is about to be upon us. I'm encouraging everybody to go. There will be an increase of law enforcement patrol operations to convince everybody or to encourage them to enjoy the fair responsibly. Take your kids to the fair, stay at the fair with them, and then take them home with you. Don't leave them there with misbehaving, please. On a lighter note, we have some new stickers, so I brought stickers for everybody. I was going to give the first sticker to Mayor Sanchez for leaping into the action today. We were at an event and officers saw a disturbance nearby, and him and I ran over to the car and helped the officers place somebody into custody. So I'm reminded of my uniform, actual rural police work days, and I turned right around, and Mayor was right there, having our backs if we needed to jump in, but he didn't.
I just put the car.
Yeah.
You put the
He did put the car in park.
Car was moving.
Gotta start somewhere.
You're the man.
Gotta start somewhere.
The event
Old guy now.
resolved successfully, nobody was hurt, but
Multiple warrants.
multiple felony warrants, and he was trying to get away. But yeah, see me after council, I have a bunch more stickers.
Excellent. Cool.
Okay, Mayor Sanchez?
The only thing I have, I really want to just thank Ken Frost for his service to the city and my administration. been more than just a co-worker. He's been more than a colleague. I don't have any brothers. He's been more than a friend. He's been a brother at work to me for the last 10 years. We've shared so many stories. We get emotional about our families, our kids, and it's just, I'm happy for him. It's a bittersweet moment. Bob Gross will be going in as interim safety service director with plans on making him full-time safety service director. Mr. Frost has 30 days to go to see his kids and his family and come back and see me.
Can I ask you a question? Are you done?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I was up at the office getting copies, are you replacing Bob?
I will explain everything to council once I don't know the answer.
Could I make a suggestion?
Sure.
You know, Shari, when she was here, you had to do a lot of other things that you can't do because you have too many other things as mayor. Are we thinking about maybe hiring somebody that can fulfill some of those responsibilities? You know what I'm saying? Like, we did that project to make the city of Fremont this.
We did.
You don't have time to do that. Ken doesn't have time.
Yeah, one of our biggest challenges right now, I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk tonight, so.
Just like every other council.
Which is why I didn't come to the last one. One of my biggest challenges right now is human resources.
Right.
So, Mr. Frost, myself, and Bob Gross are in the process of, we have a great relationship with Clemens Nelson, who does our human resources. Mr. Frost has been wonderful at doing a lot of human resource duties. Elena helps out with human resource duties. The auditor's office helps out with human resource duties. So Bob and I are in the discussions of, I feel like Bob's done really well at economic development. We have a budget that we're trying to stay within, whether or not that will be a quality human resource director or an executive assistant to the mayor to be able to help offset some of those duties and allow Bob to still do economic development as long as he's not focused on human resource. What is that, 60 to 70% of your time?
I would say that I'd spend probably 65 to 70% of my time on human resource issues.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It really is.
And the city has to be running it.
And we've spoken to other cities, that's normal.
Right.
Except a lot of other cities some have human resource directors, some have implemented new positions of human resource directors. So it's an interesting time.
Right.
Ken feels very confident with Bob. Bob filled in his role in the 6 months that he was gone, so it's a natural transition. But we are really miss Ken for us. So thank you.
Thank you. Jim Mully?
I just wanted to wish Ken well in his retirement and tell him I really thoroughly enjoyed working with him and getting to know him over the years. And I just want to thank you for all you did for the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Holly Elder?
Thank you, Madam President. Again, I just want to reflect on the fact that I always love the fact that when you talk to Ken Frost, he always has a smile on his face regardless of whatever he's going through. You may not have any idea anything that he's had to encounter during the day. So he's always pleasant, and he always made City Hall a place that you could feel comfortable. So thank you, Ken.
Except when I'm talking to Jim Sweet.
We got inside stories on that.
Thank you.
Paul Grau?
I would just echo everybody else's sentiments. I've gotten to work with Ken very closely, as kind of Danny's right-hand man and lead person on the third floor, when it comes to budget or, operations of the city and tag teaming, big decisions that we're working on together to take to the mayor, or we're working together to, work with a department head on something. And he's been a great partner over the years, and I've really enjoyed working with him. We do a lot of locking ourselves in the room during budget time, especially, and so it's been a pleasure working with Ken and kind of bouncing ideas off of each other, and it's been a great working relationship, and I'm very thankful for that. And I'm sure I've worked with the same way with Bob, and so I'm sure it'll be a seamless transition on many of those fronts. But it has been a pleasure working with Ken for all these years, that I've been auditor, and then he was brought in by Danny. And so I appreciate his service to the city. I think he's done a very fine job as Safety Service Director and should be very proud of his service to the city. And congratulations on some well-deserved time off and retirement.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Council comments, Jim Sleek?
Enjoy the fair, everybody, and be careful, and get ready, kids. The school buses are rolling, but I'm not driving.
Angie Reese?
I don't have much to say. I'm just glad I'm back. And I see the improvements in the different states. Where before I used to drive by and didn't even look at that stuff. I look at the streets now, and I think the state of Georgia and Louisiana are doing good. Their streets were very good. And I hope that Ken enjoys his retirement and takes life easy, and he'll enjoy it. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chris Leibold?
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, a couple comments about the fair. If you can, get out, support all the 4-H'ers, Junior Fair Livestock sale on the weekend, Junior Fair Baked Good auction, I think, is Wednesday night, and Open Class Baked Goods on Tuesday night. So go and support Junior Fair goers and Senior Fair goers. And of course, Ken, I echo everybody else's comments. I've only known a Ken to be Safety Service Director since I've been on council, so it's going to be weird, going to someone other than Ken.
That's right. It's a prereq for the...
Prereq, yeah, so I don't know how that made it in the job description, but, That's awesome. I guess don't be a stranger to me and to everybody else, and thanks for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. Benny?
Yeah, I'll go the same thing about Ken. I know I can be an emotional sap, and I know when you were down in Haiti and stuff, I sent a couple of texts praying for you and such. That really, that really got me. And every time I call you, you always have been there, gotten it taken care of. Though we haven't got the flagpole painted up by the old cemetery. But other than that, I want to do a shout out to the Parks Department, because they mow all of our grass, right?
Yeah.
And the parks have been looking great. They were even out this morning down on 53 by out there by Frickers.
So that's a street department that does that, and they've had to mow more this year than they've ever had to mow in the past 10 years because the grass is just going crazy.
Yeah.
But they're doing a really good job, though.
They really are, and I want to say about the Hayes Center, I was there the first couple of years, and they had it a little different on the amount of tickets, and people would leave tickets on tables and say, here, I was glad I did not drive home. I made it over to the depot, then back to my house, and I don't know how, but that is a fun.
TMI there, big guy.
Yeah, that is a fun event. So, yeah, so that's all I have. I will not be going to that event.
Thank you. Christine Weiss?
Just congratulations to Ken. It's been a pleasure working with you on council.
All of
Thank you
you.
for your service to the city and to our country, and we're going to miss you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Danielle Briggs?
Thank you, Ken. It's been a pleasure. I know that we've only had a short working relationship, but you have been really great at helping onboard me. So I look to you as a brief mentor. So thank you very much for your service to the
I appreciate your kind
city.
words in the email as well.
Leaving me out. Would you like to speak?
Evidently.
Leaving me out?
I'm sorry, John.
No, I just have a couple things. Ken, thank you. Enjoy your retirement. It's fun. Okay. Right. Appreciate everybody's comments at the LRO meeting. When I first became council, I got a message from a former student. He said, good luck on making sausage. That's the reputation of government and legislation. It's a sausage making process. So I think we did a couple pounds tonight, right? Thank you for everybody's comments, seriously. Ones I don't agree with, ones I agree with. I appreciate that. We have a handful of people in this room who their oldest is now leaving the nest. Chief Lensinger took his eldest down to Ohio State. Mayor Sanchez took his eldest down to Tiffin. And Councilwoman Reese's daughter's slowly leaving. Is she leaving, or is she commuting?
She's commuting.
Okay.
So I get to keep her for a
Okay.
little bit longer.
All right, so, and well, he's already had a couple of encounters. These are our people here at
Fresh.
the first,
Fresh
ones.
the fresh.
Fresh ones.
And good luck, and hopefully everything goes well for all of them. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have anything you wanted to speak about tonight?
Oh, no, I said what I want to say.
Okay.
I'm glad everybody's leaving on a happy note and feeling good.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad I was here, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service, your kindness, and everything you do.
You know, don't you
for the city
deserve
and the country.
a standing ovation?
Move to adjourn.
Not that important.
John Elder moves to adjourn, Chris Leibold seconds.
Briggs,
Yes.
Lees,
Yes.
Addie.
Yes.
Elder.
Yes.
Leibold.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
Do you need it?
You know what?